Welcome learners.
After listening to this video, you should be able to understand the culture and tribal lifestyles of Lakshadeep.
Well, before we talk about the tribes, we need to understand about the islands of Lakshadeep and its composition in terms of ethnicity and culture. Lakshadweep is a group of coral islands which lie scattered in the Arabian Sea. They are located at a distance of 225 to 450 kilometers from the nearest Kerala coast. Among the 22 islands, only 10 islands are inhabited. These are categorized into three groups. The 5 inhabited islands of Amini, Kadmat, Kiltan, Chelat and Bitra belong to the Amindivi group. The 4 inhabited islands of Androth, Karavati, Agati and Kalpeni and the 12 uninhabited islands of Kalpiti, Bangaram, Tinakara, Parali, Tilakam, Pitti, Cheriyam, Suheli Valyakara, Suheli Cheriyakara, Pakshi Pitti, Viringili and Koditala constitute the Lakshadweep group. The third group is represented by a solitary inhabited island called Minicoy.
It seems we haven't given much thought about these islands. No issues. We shall together take this forward and understand the culture, religion, festivities and political system of Lakshadweep in this video.
I am equally motivated to share more about the Lakshadweep to our learners. In respect of cultural regions, Lakshadweep can be divided into 2 distinct regions. In one region, all the inhabited islands except Minicoy can be grouped. Minicoy differs from the rest of the Lakshadweep islands in language, dress and lifestyle as well as culture. The Minicoyans are ethnically and culturally closer to the people of Maldives, whereas the rest of the people living in the different islands are culturally closer to the people living in coastal Kerala. The people of Lakshadweep profess Islam and the majority of them belong to the Shafi school of the Sunni sect. There are also a few Wahhabi and Ahmadiyya among them, but they constitute only a microscopic minority of the Lakshadweep inhabitants. In all the islands, the important religious festivals which have recognition in Islam are observed. Besides these, the people observe some festivities associated with the religious preceptors. Example, Sheikh Mohiddin and Sheikh Rafai Eid-ul Fitr is locally known as Cheriya Perunal. It marks the culmination of the Ramzan fast and is celebrated on the 1st of Shawwal, the 10th month of the Islamic calendar. It is the day of feasting and rejoicing. In some islands, feasts are arranged at the mosques and Maulud conducted in the name of the Prophet. Eid-ul-Zuha is known as Bakrid and is celebrated on the 10th day of Dhul Hajj, the 12th month of the Islamic calendar, to commemorate Prophet Ibrahim's surrender to the will of God. Prayers are offered and sacrifices of animals are made in the name of God and meat distributed among friends, relatives and neighbors. The life cycle rituals observed in Minicoy are to some extent different from those of the other islands of Lakshadweep. But inter-ethnic differences in regard to the observance of these rituals are not found either in Minicoy or other islands. Moharram is not of much importance in the islands. It is mostly celebrated by the well-to-do families. They observe it on the 10th day of Moharram, the 1st month of the Islamic calendar.
Before the linguistic reorganization of the states, these islands were part of the Chevayur constituency of the Malabar district of the erstwhile Madras, now Chennai presidency.
The members elected from this constituency to the Madras, now Chennai, Legislative Assembly and Parliament represented these islands in the Madras legislative assembly and the parliament. After the formation of these islands into a union territory, one member used to be nominated by the President of India to represent the islands in the parliament till 1967. After which a constituency covering the Lakshadweep, Minicoy and Amindivi islands was created, and since then a member is elected from this constituency to represent it in the parliament. Moreover, to ensure that the people are closely associated with the local administration and developmental process, committee councils have been constituted.
Let us talk about the Khoya tribes of Lakshadeep.
Khoya tribes. The term Khoya is a corrupt form of the word Khoja, which means the respected. The name Khoya itself is of comparatively recent origin. Formerly, the Khoya were known as the Tharwadi or the Karnavar and claimed their descent from the Nambudiri and the Nayar from mainland India. Presently, the Khoya are distributed in all the inhabited islands except Minicoy. Their group-wise population is not available. The language spoken with the kin group is Lakshadweep, that is Dweep Bhasha, a local variation of Malayalam. Their constitutional status is that of a scheduled tribe. The Khoya do not have any subgroups or synonyms. Traditionally, the Khoya men wear a white or colored lungi and shirt, but nowadays the youngsters wear shirts and trousers. The Khoya women's traditional dress is similar to that of the Kerala Muslim women. They wear a white or colored cloth called kachi and a tight-fitting blouse with long sleeves, kuppayam. The headdress called tattam covers the head and shoulders. The women have a great penchant for ornaments. Eardrops and earrings are common adornments. The Khoya are non-vegetarian and eat beef but not pork. Their staple food is rice and fish. Social divisions among the Khoya exist at the Tharwad, a matrilineal descent household level, but internal hierarchy does not exist. The community's self-perception about its social status is high. The other communities also have a high perception of the Khoya. The Khoya maintain endogamy at the community level and exogamy at the Tharwad level. Consanguinous marriages, both parallel and cross, except maternally parallel, are practiced. However, mother's brother's daughter is preferred to father's sister's daughter. Maternal uncle niece marriage is not allowed. Surrogate junior, a custom by which on the death of a woman, her husband is required or has the right to marry her younger sister, is allowed. Adult marriage of either sex is practiced, and the mode of acquiring a mate is either exchange or negotiation. The form of marriage is monogamous. Divorce by either party is permissible with the approval of the Qazi, Muslim priest. In the case of divorce by the wife, the compensation is given to the ex-husband, and children are the liability of the mother, but the payment is made every month by the ex-husband for their livelihood till they reach adulthood. Remarriage of a widow, widower, divorcee is permissible. The Khoya prefer the joint family system, but nowadays nuclear family is also coming into existence because of the gradual erosion of authority of the matrilineal group as well as the emergence of the individualistic outlook. There are two types of property among the Khoya. One is the self-acquired property and the other is the ancestral property. In the Tharwad property, each member, irrespective of age, sex or generation, has an equal share. However, no individual member can alienate his or her share of her property. Sons get double the share of daughters and wife gets 1/8 share following the Shariat, called Islamic Code of Conduct. The Rule of succession is either by nephew or the younger brother of the head of a Tarwad, whoever is older. The Khoya women of this territory enjoy a higher social and economic status than the other Muslim societies in India. They participate in economic activities and contribute to the family income. The major natural resource is land. Among the Khoya, the land is controlled individually as well as by the Tarwad. The Khoya were the principal landowners and they still remain so.
Let us talk about the Puducherry tribes of Lakshadeep.
Puducherry tribes. The term Puducherry means high climbers, an apparent reference to the primary occupation of the Puducherry, that is coconut plucking. The main function of a Puducherry Tarwad is to regulate marriage. The community's self-perception is low and the Khoya and the Malmi also have low perception about the status of the Puducherry. Endogamy is maintained at the community level. Divorce is permitted for either sex with the approval of the Qazi. If the wife seeks and is granted the divorce, the compensation has to be paid to the ex-husband. Remarriage is permitted for a widow, widower and divorcee, male and female. The Puducherry follow two types of inheritance rule, one for the Tarwad property and one for Tingalaicha property, self-acquired or personal property. For the latter, they follow the Islamic law of inheritance as mentioned in the Shariat, that is, to the male a portion equal to that of two females. The share prescribed for wife is 1/8 of the whole property after deducting debts and 1/4 in case the male has no child. In the case of Tarwad property, the rule of inheritance is passed on matrilineally in which each member of the Tarwad gets an equal share. Succession passes to either nephew or younger of the Karnawar, whoever is older. Puducherry women enjoy a higher social status than women belonging to any other Muslim society in India in literacy and economic freedom. They have the right to inheritance. They play a role in the plantation operation, collection of fuel, fetching of potable water as well as other economic activities besides their household chores. They also actively participate in social and religious functions. In the political field, they do not play any significant role. Women contribute to the family income but do not control the family expenditure. In the Puducherry, the marriage proposal is initiated generally by the girl's family. The Puducherry follow Islam and belong to the Shafi school of the Sunni sect.
After listening to this video, you should have become familiar about the major tribes of Lakshadeep, namely Khoya tribes and Puducherry tribes, and understand the culture and their lifestyles.
Thank you.